Hey, Tom.
Hey, JC.
Glad to be back behind the mic with you, buddy.
It's an exciting time for us. We've got a whole bunch of new stuff in the 328 West. It's West, right? I have no sense of direction.
It is West.
Okay.
You could say it is not just the most exciting time, but the greatest time in the history of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast.
Well, that's how we designate something. It's how we get the people excited. We label it the greatest, regardless of what it is.
We're also getting
the greatest.
We're getting tens of millions of dollars for it too.
Ooh,
right?
Is that how we got all the new equipment?
That's how we paid for all the equipment, for sure.
Thank you, Saudi Arabia.
Yes, Vision 2030 for the win. So I have a really important question about the greatest Royal Rumble, Tom.
Okay.
So it's Friday. It's really two questions. It's coming this Friday on traditional pay-per-view and the network because, everyone's buying traditional pay-per-view these days at noon on a Friday.
Absolutely. I mean, well, or 9 a.m. on the West Coast.
Ooh, Meltzer will be up.
No, we will.
Probably, yeah. Did you number one, did you take the day off?
I went to my supervisors at work and I explained to them that it was a holiday. They said, what holiday? I said, the greatest holiday. And I did not go into further detail and I did not get the paid time off.
Okay. Well, I will be off because someone's got to run the Twitter account during this, right?
Yeah. That's your job pretty much all the time.
It's 90% me.
Spoiler alert. It's 90% JC, 9% Mike if he goes to some kind of wrestling event that we don't go to.
True.
And 1% whatever else I give the login information to.
Yeah. Tom, you should really use the Twitter account more, Tom.
Hashtag Russian bot.
You could just sign every tweet, much love, brother, dash, Mr. Workrate. Because you've got the characters for it now. It's 2018.
MRW.
MRW. There you go. Doesn't mean my reaction win anymore. All right, my second question about the greatest Royal Rumble. And this is where I'm really struggling. What should be on the menu for the greatest Royal Rumble? What am I making? What am I making as snack food Friday, Tom?
Well, you need all the greatest foods.
Okay.
We're I guess you're having a Middle Eastern theme, so we want some falafel.
Ooh. I'm already on board. Let's keep going.
You want at least some I'm thinking at least some kind of hummus.
Yeah. Well, that's a given for any event.
Yeah. So, or Italian sandwich, depending on who you are.
Could I buy an Italian sandwich and scrape the hummus off of it and then just use the hummus? Is that appropriate?
It depends on if you're shopping in Montreal, I guess.
Okay. All right. I can take a quick trip up there. I got
yeah.
48 hours? I'm fine.
Or just buy the hummus in the tub where you can normally buy all your hummus and condiments. And is hummus a condiment?
Hummus is always in the deli section, at least at the food kitty.
All right, but if you're using the hummus, I mean, it stands alone. It's I guess it's along the same lines as salsa condiment.
Well, if you're Chris Terry, they're both going an Italian sandwich.
Oh yeah, but we see where that got him.
Yeah, got him to Montreal. But you're not here to hear about failed hurricanes. You're here to hear about the greatest Royal Rumble, the Superstar Shakeup, the passing of Bruno Sammartino. What else do we need to talk about tonight, Tom?
That's good.
That's good.
We'll think of some other stuff as we go along.
Yeah, we got to hear what Tom's watching on pay-per-view tonight. We've got to hear what Uncrustable he's eating tonight. All your favorite bits are back. Because we're back. Here on the Cheaters Never Pin
We live,
podcast.
baby.
That's right. So, Tom, I need you to do me a favor, buddy.
What would that be, Jason?
Ring that damn bell, son.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC. Oh, hell yeah.
That wasn't awkward at all.
No. It's another episode of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast where the most awkward wrestling podcast in the triangle. There we go. That's our superlative tonight.
Sure.
Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you here. As always, proud part of the Section 328 family. I'm JC. Here next to me, God, it's clear I haven't talked in 2 weeks. Here next to me at the commentary tables is my good buddy, Mr. Workrate, Tom.
So great to be here, JC. And I don't know, maybe I'm catching a contact buzz from you. I don't know, but it's just a peek behind the curtain. I guess we'll reveal this immediately, just going into it. So the cold open, we not to get all too technical, but as you're listening to this for the first time, you're realizing that we talk before the theme.
Why is that happening?
Which is not something that we normally do, because the last time we tried to do that, all of JC's equipment caught on fire.
It almost melted my mid-2011 Mac Mini.
Yeah, and as a IT professional, I can tell you that is not good. But we decided to do it this time, and we went through this whole thing, and we had a good cold open. We went back and forth. We had the banter, and JC proceeded to do the intro music as I was commenting on something else, because he decided that the cold open was over, and I did not realize this.
This is what happens when we're in two different rooms at the same time.
Yes. So,
because contrary to popular belief, Tom, we do this over a popular voice over IP service called Skype. I don't know if the people out there have heard of it.
It's not Skype?
No, it's called Skype. The E is silent, I think.
Oh. I've been using it way wrong then.
Oh, okay.
My fetishes will go unused now. Okay. But anyway, so we had a cold open that we just basically threw in the garbage because it awkwardly ended. And then we sat there for another 10 minutes going, well, see, we turned to our more professional brothers there at Cheaters Never Win and go, well, they do a cold open, but how do they know to hit the theme? They do hit the X button. That's the signal, even though the two of them are generally standing right next to each other and can just, signal. So we needed something to say in order to make the other realize, okay, we're going to stop talking and do the theme now.
Yeah, they live much closer to each other. You're all the way out on the east side of Wake County.
Yeah.
I'm all the way here on the west side of Durham County.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not living in, the ITB lifestyle / almost Garner.
Right.
So, that helps. But that's okay, because next week, for the first time ever, we've already committed to this, folks. Next week, Tom and JC are in the same room.
It's going to be the greatest.
It's going to be the greatest. That's a great segue, Tom.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. This Friday at noon on the WWE Network, the greatest Royal Rumble. Is next year the even more greatester Royal Rumble? Because I'm trying to figure out what they want to call it. Like, where do you go from here? Is my number one question.
The greatestest.
Oh shit! Every year they just add another EST. Oh, and then that makes Bianca Belair the first woman to perform in Saudi Arabia, because then she's she's the EST, right? This works for her gimmick. You follow me?
I have no idea. I kind of ignore her gimmick.
Oh yeah,
she has hair. It's a helicopter.
That's not her gimmick though.
But it is.
It's just a weapon that should be illegal.
Yeah. She does her head back and forth.
There you go.
Isn't that a song or something? I don't know. I'm
She whips her hair back and forth.
As was mentioned in the first call to open, which we have not yet mentioned in the newly recorded version of this, I'm old, so I don't know.
See, I figured you'd be happy I left that out the second time.
No, it's important that I explain this because some people may be listening for the first time and not realize that I'm old.
Yeah. Go back through the archives.
That was gonna come up anyway once we start talking about Bruno. Or
yeah, we'd get there.
My new glasses, or
you're blind.
Which you can't see.
You're old and blind. And John Cena apparently. Wait, no, because I can see you. You just can't see me. Oh my God, I'm John Cena.
No. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, the greatest Royal Rumble.
It's not working.
Is live from, what's the tag? The beautiful city of Jeddah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let's run down the card and talk about this shit because the card is finished, I think, in theory.
This card is, if you've ever played those wrestling games where you kind of sign wrestlers and you make your own cards and stuff like that. I can't think of the computer games that used to do that, but stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where basically you sign a whole bunch of wrestlers, and the first time you do it, you put every single person on the card, and you realize I shouldn't do that because the card ends up being 7 hours long, and I've got 42 matches that I need to book. That's this card right now.
Oh, so you're night 2 of Battle of Los Angeles every year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we
go.
This
is also being held at a American Legion Hall, right?
Well, PWG, they just finished up at the American Legion Hall.
Yes.
All-Star Weekend was the end, my friend. They are leaving Reseda. Thank God. Now I'm I could make a trip to LA for PWG now because there's air conditioning.
I was going to say, now they're actually going to go to a place that, I don't know, can seat more than 300. And
my question is, do they take Legion Larry with them?
I have found, being a ECW fan, that the fans will generally follow if you don't go too far.
Well, Legion Larry's the guy that ran the American Legion Post. That's who's a legendary figure in the lore of PWG. So
okay,
do they just comp him into every show to just yell at people more?
I'm sure there'll be tickets waiting for him.
I hope so. Anyway, the greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, we've
already had many.
We digressed slightly.
That's okay. If you're a regular to the podcast, you're used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's start from what, according to Wikipedia, is the bottom of the card: The Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match.
What's the over/under for match length on this? 4.5 minutes?
Are we including the entrance?
No.
Oh, 7 to 10.
Okay, well,
because
you're giving Rusev more time than John Cena.
This is a 10-match, 5-hour card, Tom. WrestleMania was an 11-match, 5-hour card.
Yes, but we've got a Royal Rumble here, a 50-man Royal Rumble.
So there's 2 hours. So we've got what? 9 matches and 3 hours.
Because you saw what was it, 2012 or whatever, when they had the 40-man Royal Rumble, and how god awful long that was.
I have to imagine they could book it tighter.
Yeah.
Are they gonna have a golf cart to get Mark Henry to the ring again?
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell they're gonna find 50 people to go into the match.
Well, everyone that already has another match is in it, clearly. I mean, that's the only way to do it, right?
I mean, well, that's how it always used to be with battle royals. That battle royals, you'd have, say, 6 matches in the, I'll say old days, but I mean, like, pretty much up until the 80s when battle royals kind of got phased out a little bit. The battle royal was something that you had at the end of the card where all the people that were in the previous matches got put into the final match, which was the battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, I have a thing with Royal Rumbles where if you're wrestling in a match for the actual Rumble pay-per-view, I don't want you to participate in your match and then in the Royal Rumble itself.
Yeah,
because those are 30 wrestlers in that. So I still like the idea of kind of spreading it out. If you have a match already, you don't need to be in the other one because you're generally not going to say wrestle in a tag team match and then also have a chance to win the Royal Rumble. You're filler at this point.
True.
So if you're going to be filler, bring somebody else in to be filler. But at this point, you've got 50 people that are going to be in this Rumble match. And it's overseas, so it's not like you can grab local talent necessarily. Although one of the trainees, I guess, or one of the tryout guys is going to be in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Right. So the guys that aren't booked on the card, okay. So here are all the people that are in it that we know so far that aren't booked otherwise. Daniel Bryan. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Big Show. Braun Strowman. Kurt. Apollo Crews, who got his last name back.
Thank God.
Titus Worldwide. Elias. Goldust. Mojo. Ziggles. Baron Corbin. Chad Gable. Big E. Kofi and Xavier. Shelton Benjamin. Sin Cara. Chris Jericho. Bobby Roode. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shane, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, The Great Khali, and Mark Henry.
So that's 3, 5, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 20.
Okay, so that works.
So it's 26.
Kurt Hawkins, Sin Cara. Oh, wait, I already said Sin Cara. Shit, he's already on the list.
You did say.
Let's add Kurt Hawkins. Because,
yeah,
I mean, you're going to fly Brian Myers to Saudi Arabia. Duh. Who else isn't on this list? Rhino and Slater. The Ascension. The Fashion Police. The Authors of Pain. There's 6 guys. You can fill it up really easily. Just depends on who they're taking.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I'm not saying that the WWE doesn't employ 50 wrestlers. I'm just...
Oh, they do. I mean, they're not UFC employing like 800 people. Whatever stupid number they're up to these days.
Yeah.
I sent you a link the other day, and I don't know if you read this, but it was someone on Reddit wrote the worst possible booking of the Greatest Royal Rumble event.
Yes.
Did you read it? So here was...
Yes.
I just want to share their booking of the 50-man Royal Rumble match. Sin Cara and Braun Strowman are the first 2. Braun quickly eliminates Sin Cara, but Sin Cara is also entry number 3. It turns out Sin Cara is the only other entrant. Strowman wins. I'm fine with this. Who do you think's going to win and go home with the big trophy?
The big trophy, and that's it.
That's it. Just a trophy. It's the Greatest Royal Rumble, but you get a lesser prize than the normal Royal Rumble, than the not Greatest Royal Rumble.
Khali?
No. Really?
I don't know. Does it matter?
No.
I mean, see, it depends. If you're just throwing a trophy out there and putting absolutely, like, to the point where this is almost non-canon, then why not do Khali? You know, just to get... I don't know how over he still is over there.
Well, he's over in India, Tom.
So you're saying he's only over in India and not over anywhere else?
I mean,
in neighboring countries.
Tom, I'm not really up to date with my Saudi Arabian WWE YouTube metrics. Okay, so I don't know who's over.
Well,
that's the problem here.
I think Strowman's probably the one you lean towards.
Strowman's a good bet. Daniel Bryan could be a decent bet. Fuck it. Let Shane win. God damn it. God damn it, Tom. Shane's gonna win.
Entrant number 50 is Stephanie McMahon.
She's immediately arrested. Coming down the ramp. They just throw a towel over her and carry her to the back.
She's actually Sin Cara.
Hunter comes out, beats up the cops, enters at number 50 at her place and wins. Oh, shit. There we go. and that's the story of how Triple H won the greatest Royal Rumble.
It comes in at 51.
You thought there'd only be 50. See, that's the gimmick for the greatest Royal Rumble. Is now it's a 51-man Royal Rumble. So that's next year.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the greatest Royal Rumble match. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? Because it doesn't matter. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship inside a steel cage.
A salad steel cage, as other podcasts would say.
Yes. As long as they play the music when the cage is lowering, I'll be happy. You know, the Hell in a Cell title match, cage match music. Bum, 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 bum. It's not even music. It's just bum, 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 bum. That shit gets me hype, Tom.
Can there be Japanese rap in between it?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Because we can go through my rant I went on Twitter last night about, and then backpedaled on 30 minutes later. Who is leaving Jeddah with the big red strap?
We have to put the belt on Roman now, don't we?
I think Brock's gonna win, bro. I just I want Roman to win, okay? Because I'm just sick of Brock having that belt.
Yeah.
The whole storyline angle of, wow, he's a goddamn part-timer, blah, blah, blah. I've been saying that for months anyway. I know, 100% agree. So I'm playing into the work here. Yeah, Brock's a stupid fucking part-timer. So take the strap off him, please. Put it on Roman. And we've covered this before too. Roman would be a great face for the company, going into the summer, all that mess. Anyway, I hope Roman wins, but Brock is leaving Saudi Arabia with the Universal title.
Okay, I don't think so. I guess maybe because I'm hoping not. So
I have no feeling based on the way Raw went on Monday that they have any plans to give Roman the title. Because for the simple fact, Roman never said, I'm going to be the Universal Champion.
I mean, I like the whole theory of if they put the title on Roman over in Saudi Arabia, Roman's more over. There aren't smart marks that there are in America, so Roman's not going to get booed out of the building, especially if he wins the title.
Well, my thing is too, why are you going to put the Universal Championship in a match 8 days later where you know it's not going to SmackDown when Samoa Joe's going to lose? Or, he's going to face Samoa Joe 8 days after the Greatest Royal Rumble. Are you going to put the title in a position where you know that Roman's going to win?
Well, my whole thing, and this is a personal argument about booking in general nowadays, is that you don't have to defend the damn title every time a champion wrestles.
No.
That never used to be the case, and it's not the case. Like, Japan doesn't do this. Japan title matches are set up far in advance that are relatively rare. I mean, I say relatively rare, but I mean, it's like
big shows.
You have it happen at big shows. You don't have it happen at every single house show and little 700-seat event everywhere. That's what minor titles are for.
Yeah, but my argument back to that is, how many really major venues does New Japan run? You've got Sumo Hall, you've got Korakuen Hall, you've got the Dome, you've got Osaka. They don't have as many, like, in theory, major markets as WWE does. So they need, like, WWE needs the draw, right? When they go to LA, New York, Chicago, Dallas, Orlando, when they go to big cities, when they go to big metro markets, they have, for pay-per-views, especially Houston, when they do that stuff, like, they have to have that draw.
But the thing is, title matches are actually built in some place like New Japan. Like, you turn on Raw and they're just like, oh, by the way, the U.S. title is being defended against this guy. And 90% of the time it's defended against, you're doing it one of two ways. You're either defending it, like, say, Seth Rollins is going to defend it against Finn Balor, and you're like, okay, well, something may happen here. This sound, and you're basically throwing away a pay-per-view match on Raw, or you're having Seth Rollins defend the title against, like, Heath Slater, and you go, of course he's not going to win. This is a throwaway match. So why does Heath Slater earn a title match? He shouldn't be earning a title match, but we're throwing the title out there just for whatever reason.
Well, titles in general in WWE these days are meaningless. They're props. Right? I mean, it's not like the entire way you get a title match is you beat the champion. You
All right.
Like, and you can do that on a fluke, you can do that by cheating, it doesn't matter. You don't have to earn it. You just have to get lucky. So the title in general is meaningless, and there's too many of them.
See, there's not too many of them. That's the thing.
See, I'm in favor of having one men's champion, one women's champion, one tag team champion.
I was okay with one. I like having the individual secondary titles. Like, the Intercontinental title is on Raw and the U.S. title is on SmackDown, or vice versa.
Yep.
That's fine. Then have one world champion
Agreed.
that goes to both, and have one. I mean, I'm torn on whether or not to have two sets of tag titles. I'm fine with one set of tag titles.
Yeah.
Because the tag divisions aren't that, big to begin with. Have one women's champion. Because again, it's if you're having it set like two whole separate divisions necessarily, but there's still, everyone knows that they're still under the WWE banner. This isn't the fake, okay, we're going to have what before they did the brand split, when they bought WCW, and part of them thought, we're going to take WCW, we're actually going to operate WCW as a completely different entity and have separate titles and everything like that, and just operate it like a second promotion and do a separate TV show and separate tours and everything like that and keep that completely separate. It's not like that. Everything's operating under the WWE umbrella.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe part of this whole reimagining plan, which I can get into. I watched the entire Business Partner Summit video that went up, by the way, Tom, because that's how much of a goddamn nerd I am.
You're dedicated.
Yeah. the entire word that they kept bringing up was, we need to reimagine and disrupt our own business. Well, what would be a bigger disruption than going back to the NWA model of having one champion? Like one world champion.
Right, and that's almost like, and I don't know if this is, in a way though, isn't that what they're doing with Brock? Where you have a champion,
but you never see him. I think
that's the whole thing. It then becomes a special. When Ric Flair was the World Heavyweight Champion, was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, you didn't see him every week on the Superstation at 605. You saw him a lot, just especially later on as Jim Crockett pretty much ran the NWA. But in the earlier years, in the early 80s and 70s, when Ric Flair or Harley Race or Jack Briscoe, whoever happened to be the NWA champion, that person was traveling. Some days they were in Japan, some days they were on the West Coast, some days they were in Georgia, that type of thing. You didn't see him every week on your TV show. But holy crap, Ric Flair is going to be here next week, and he's defending his title. Or a lot of times he wasn't even defending a title. He was kind of building up to a house show or something like that. But that was the thing. It was, okay, here's this special event. Here's this special attraction. Is that what they're trying to do with Brock? Are they trying to make it that special? Like, here's the champion. You should be thankful that Brock is showing up in your town.
To me, that doesn't work with Brock. Because for the simple fact that with his part-time schedule, you would never be able to pull that off because you've got 5 hours of programming a week to fill. You look back in the Superstation days and you had, hour to 2 hours to fill every week. And but Flair was brought up. Flair was talked about. He had the Horsemen there that would talk about him. Here, it's just Heyman and Brock. So you take them out of the equation. Whenever they're not there, they're not even talked about on television, right? So you've got all these people fighting and jockeying for position for what? A title that we don't even acknowledge exists, except when Brock Lesnar feels like showing up to an event. So you could do that, just don't do it with Brock Lesnar. You need to do it with a full-timer.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and I think part of the problem too is that the Universal title is worthless. I
disagree with that statement.
It has no lineage to it. It was Finn's for a day. Ugh. And then it was...
Well, the reason it has no legacy is because for the better part of 2 years at this point, it's there 6 to 8 Raws a year out of 52. We've seen it maybe 12 to 16 times in 2 years.
We've had one full-time champion outside of Finn for the one day in Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens had it, defended it for a little while, then it became the Goldberg and Brock show.
Yeah.
And then that's when the title became useless.
But that title would mean something if we saw it every week. And it became, and that's what every superstar was talking about. That's what I want, is that title. I'm here, I'm having this random match because I've got another beef, but I have to win here to prove that I have what it takes to move up the next step and be, move up a space in line to become a contender for the Universal Championship. But because you don't see the title, there's no point in it.
Yeah.
So, which is why when SmackDown, which they dumped in 3 weeks, when they came out with the top, the SmackDown top 10 thing, I was like, okay, this is a good idea to have That way it shows you've given your top talent that you want to build to become title contenders. You've given them something to talk to and be like, look, I got to move up these rankings so I can get my shot at the WWE Championship. It makes it feel more legitimate.
Right.
And then they used it as a gimmick to build a Bobby Roode fucking Jinder Mahal match and then got rid of it. So,
yeah,
if they're going to do that, and I think they should, and I think they should revisit that idea, just do it seriously this time.
Well, and the number one contender type thing has always been an arbitrary thing. It's always been like somewhere out of nowhere 1 week. It's, we've got a number one contenders match. Where does that come from?
Yeah. Well, if you're Roman Reigns, it's you're being punished for losing by being given another title shot. It's a conspiracy, man. Because that makes sense.
Boo-hoo.
All right. Enough time on that.
Yeah. Moving right along.
We went down 4 or 5 different roads there. Good topics, though. Before we move on, Tom.
What's that, JC?
I'm not wearing a shirt right now. I've run out of T-shirts.
Oh, no.
Tom, I don't know where to get more T-shirts. I mean,
may I offer... Oh, go ahead. Keep talking. I thought you were asking me a question, but go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll wait.
No, you're fine. I don't know where to get T-shirts, Tom. Please tell me. Please give me an idea of where to buy T-shirts.
Are you sure? Because it seems like you want to tell me more about your current situation.
No, I don't have anything else to say at this current time. Please continue.
Well, then possibly I have a suggestion for you if you are ready for this suggestion.
I am 100% ready. Please make your statement now.
Okay, very good then. So, I personally, if I were you, this is just as me. This is, just shooting off the top of my head here. I would go to cheatersneverpin.com. Okay.
Okay.
And I mean, there's a lot of our podcasts there, and we wrote something once, I think, somewhere in there. But at the top of the page, when you first go to that page, there are 2 buttons there. The button on the right, I believe, says Amazon.com.
Ooh, I've heard of this.
Yes, Amazon.com. It's a wonderful place to shop. But if you click on that button, what will happen is you will get redirected to the Amazon.com website. Now, you may ask me, Tom, why would I just go to cheatersneverpin.com, then click on that button to go to Amazon? Why not just go to Amazon.com?
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, yes, JC.
Why would I not just go to Amazon.com?
Yeah, see, that's the type of question you would ask, and I would explain to you that if you go to cheatersneverpin.com, you click on that Amazon.com button, go straight to Amazon just the same as you normally would. However, when you make those purchases, when you put those T-shirts, when you put those compression socks, when you put a 30-count box of candy bars in your shopping cart.
Don't buy your candy bars on Amazon. If you need candy bars, DM your boy. Slide up in these DMs. I'm going to put a stop to that real quick.
By candy bars, I of course meant Sharpie markers.
There you go.
If you need a 40-pound box of cat litter, all these things, you put those in your cart, you go and you purchase them the same price that you would normally. But a small portion of that money that you spend doesn't go to Jeff Bezos to buy another country.
Has he done that?
You don't know, man. Instead, a few cents goes to the Cheaters Never Pin pockets.
Ooh.
So that we can do all this great stuff, like get a new soundboard and I don't know, maybe record a new opening, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe
all this cool stuff.
New podcast art.
Ooh.
that I didn't do it in 5 minutes on an online editor.
And hey, while you go to cheatersneverpin.com and you click on that Amazon button, if you want to, once Amazon.com opens up, why don't you just type in section 328 in the little search bar and check out a collection of t-shirts. You can get a Cheaters Never Pin Wolfpack t-shirt if you want.
Ooh, can you?
I wore one in a downpour tailgate.
Was that one of your video
Facebook
shirts?
Live. There's actually a photo from that. You could actually see how wet this t-shirt was and glistened. And you know what? It still fits great.
That t-shirt gets so wet and glistens so well, Vince McMahon would let you wear it on WWE programming.
Yes!
Yes! Speaking of Wolfpack.
So yeah, just go to cheatersneverpin.com, click on the link for Amazon.com, type in section 328, pick up that Wolfpack Cheaters Never Pin shirt and other quality section 328 t-shirts. Pick them up, and a small portion of the price that you pay, instead of going to Amazon.com, will go to us so that we can continue to provide you with this great content.
Yes. We appreciate everything you spend on Amazon when you click the button on cheatersneverpin.com.
Yeah.
It will help fund our new Jeff Bezos Conspiracy Theory podcast.
Yeah. And thankfully you cut off that music now, because otherwise we would have had to pay for our lawyers, as we used too much copyrighted music.
Yeah, fair use.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that cuts off. I wasn't running a stopwatch or
It's
anything.
like 30 seconds or something. We were close. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
Well, we have millions of listeners, so you never know. I'm sure somebody's listening and telling Vince McMahon each week.
The millions
and millions
of Cheaters Never Pin subscribers. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Back to the greatest Royal Rumble. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Let's try to burn through the rest of this.
Seth Rollins defends his Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match against Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and The Miz. My guess is it's either a Rollins retention or a Balor win to keep the belt on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. I'm assuming Seth retains, just
that's cool,
because I think most of this is going to stay, again, kind of non-canon and just a big show for the Saudi Arabia crowd.
Yeah, it's like the WCW South Korea show or North Korea show, whatever the hell it was. Jesus, I don't know geography and or history. How great would it be if Finn Balor comes out in his Balor Cup is for everyone rainbow shirt?
Oh,
he will be my hero even more. AJ Styles defends the WWE Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Over under on the amount of ball shots.
2.5.
Ooh, okay. I'll take the under. Feeling conservative.
Because
it's in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
But balls are okay, just as long as there's not boobs involved.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. Jeff Hardy defends his United States Championship against Jinder Mahal. He's going to retain.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy take on Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Mower of lawn.
Oh, I can see him giving Wyatt and Hardy the rub here. Why not? Why not?
Cesaro and Sheamus aren't on Raw.
Oh shit! Good point. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking like, no, you could put it on Wyatt and Hardy for a little bit, then they could get murdered by AOP. That's cool. That's good. That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
They get murdered by AOP. Wyatt turns. Ultimate Deletion 2.0. Beautiful. The Bludgeon Brothers take on the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And Naomi's ass will not be there to save the Usos as she did on Tuesday night. So I'm going to assume the Bludgeon Brothers probably retain.
Oh, Luke Harper, you disturbing man, you.
Can we talk about the fact that literally we brought Naomi out Tuesday night on SmackDown just to twerk, to be like, so the Bludgeon Brothers can be like, pretty woman, and then lose?
Well,
That's
did
really...
you see Luke Harper's tweet?
No.
So Luke Harper, great Twitter account as it is, because normally it's Monday, you know what that means. It's Tuesday, you know what that means for the longest time.
Right.
So when I guess it was the Wednesday after I have to look to find it now. But it was the day after not Luke Harder, geez, it's
Luke. So when he gets future endeavored and becomes a porn star, Luke Harder.
What's Luke Harder doing in the Impact Zone? All right, so Naomi saved her husband. And there's basically a tweet that Luke Harper does, and it's just a screenshot of Naomi in front of her husband, like protecting him from the show. And the only quote is "cute AF."
That's good.
And it's just kind of disturbing from Luke Harper.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Cedric Alexander defends the Cruiserweight Championship against winner of last night's Gauntlet match, Kalisto.
That ought to be fun.
That'd be fun. I'm down with that. 205 Live's great. If you're not watching it, by the way, watch it. It's very good. And then John Cena takes on Triple H.
Cena's winning that, right?
I mean, I assume so. Hunter just puts everyone over. So, and Cena's big international superstar, so you put him over. Duh. Yeah. It's fine. Whatever. Who gives a shit? There's no story here. Who cares?
Is that all of them?
That is the entire Greatest Royal Rumble, Tom.
Okay.
5 hours of your Friday gone. Actually, 6 if you include the pre-show. Starting at 11 a.m., featuring Byron Saxton, Jim Ross, and Jerry the King Lawler.
That's who I want talking to me.
Yeah. And as always, follow us on Twitter at CheatersNVRPin. Tom will be at work, but I'll be there, providing live updates and commentary on the most greatest of Rumbles.
We'll see how active I am at work.
Yeah, pull it up on your... what was it Michael Cole said on Monday? He was like, it's a great way to spend your lunch break. I was like... I think I even tweeted from our account. I was like, Cole, no one's lunch break is 5 fucking hours.
That's your job, man. I have a resume.
Yeah. This is... I mean... How long is a siesta in Spain? I guess you could use your siesta, but then it's also probably not at the correct time of day.
Do you stockpile it maybe if you didn't take your siesta the day before?
That's a good idea. Oh, Greatest Royal Rumble. All right.
I think I'm watching New Jack die, by the way.
Ooh. Are you sure he's not killing a child this time?
I don't think so. He's just bleeding a lot.
Tom's watching an ECW pay-per-view this evening.
Guilty as charged 99, which even less disturbing than New Jack bleeding as much as he's bleeding right now. Bubba Ray Dudley is clean shaven.
Still weird.
And he kind of just looks like Cartman.
Man! Get the tables, man!
And, you know, this is
it was way funnier in my head than when I did it out loud.
And this is 1999, back when South Park was still relevant. So,
wow, shots fired. Superstar shakeup happened 2 weeks ago. Any takeaways from that? Or, I mean, I'm good with everything that happened. We basically just switched undercards.
Yeah, I was concerned because I have SmackDown tickets, and I didn't want people that I wanted to see taken off of SmackDown, and nobody really left that I was that concerned with, but we got a few call-ups, which was nice.
The show got better, Tom.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Tom, we're going to get to see Samoa Joe and Asuka and the bar and the club and El Idolo.
The what?
El Idolo? Adrian Cien Almas? El Idolo?
Oh.
Idolo. Sorry, I said it wrong. And most importantly, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville and the Iconics.
Well, I'm not going to be ringside, so that's not as important.
Ringside's gone, and I'm very sad. I may have to settle for third row.
You're just going to rush the stage.
Yeah. So if you're watching May 29th, when you see the guy get arrested during Charlotte's entrance, it's probably me.
Yeah. Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Sanity gets the call up.
Yeah. The Miz and Daniel Bryan.
R-Truth.
Can he just show up on Raw every week and be like, wait, hold on. My bad.
He should just show up at Impact one week.
If they just were like, hey, can we just do this thing one week? That would be pretty funny.
Just shows up as Ron Killings. Like, Ron Killings is here.
I think
it's former NWA world champion.
You know what's even funnier? If they fly him to one of the UK people that they're partners with, and he shows up at like Progress, and he's like, I'm on Raw. Like he took the trip to the UK. He's like, my bad.
Just looks at Pete Dunne.
Travis Banks is just standing there holding the Progress title, be like, what the fuck are you doing?
What is it, like Jeff? What is it, Jack Sexsmith or whatever his name is?
Yeah. I would, you know what? An R-Truth. No. So R-Truth has to come out and have a rap battle with the. Oh shit! I just blanked on his name. God damn it! The guy that raps. Shit. Anyway, from Progress. God damn it! I feel really bad now. Ernest the Cat Miller is making an appearance this evening.
Yeah, the cat has decided that Potter has run too long.
Yes.
She's
so that's
tired.
the shakeup. I have no strong thoughts either way. It was time. I'm just glad. It's nice to move people around. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing that I have with that type of thing is call-ups, and I think most of the NXT call-ups that we're looking for happened.
Yeah, Ember. We didn't talk about Ember, but yay, Ember. Of course, she got called up the night after Raw, or it's Mania, but good for her.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre's back.
We're tagging with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
but they have a sick-ass finisher, and I'm good with it.
Yeah.
The zigzag Claymore looks devastating. I'm a huge fan. And it seems to have reinvigorated Ziggler a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have anything. Ziggler for the last year has just been this giant mystery.
Yeah.
And is he signed? Is he signed a lot? Is he not signed? Is he is it just record scratch? I don't know. Why do you have a record scratch and then do your theme music anyway?
Yeah. I like him. He's a good worker. He's a good face for the company.
Yeah.
So, Bruno Sammartino passed away a couple weeks ago at the age of, I wrote this down.
82?
82, yes. So, as I have no real experience with it, I'm going to run through facts about Bruno, and then if you'll do a couple minutes just on your memories of Bruno real quick.
Yeah.
Bruno Sammartino debuted in December of 1959. He had his first MSG match a month later, January 1960. He defeated Buddy Rogers to become the WWF champion and had the longest reigning championship of all time, 7 years, 8 months, and 1 day, until he lost it to Ivan Koloff. He was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013. Of course, in 2014, the last WrestleMania in New Orleans. After he kind of made peace with him in 2013, they unveiled the statue of him. His honors from PWI include 5 Match of the Years and 1 Wrestler of the Year in 1974. So, I mean, I know of him because, especially for the WWF, WWE, he's such a big legendary figure, and especially his ability to draw Madison Square Garden, his legacy within Pittsburgh and the Italian community, and of course his just incredible life story. What are your memories and thoughts on Bruno Sammartino?
I'm not that old.
Sure. Positive.
But I caught Bruno basically when I first started watching wrestling was tail end of 85, going into 86, let's say. And at the time, Bruno wasn't really wrestling. He technically wasn't retired at this point, but he was doing color commentary alongside of Vince McMahon. They do the occasional 3-man booth with the 2 of them and Jesse Ventura. Every once in a while, Bruno would do like the backstage interviews, that type of thing. But I basically knew him as a guy from the Coliseum videotapes, that he was a wrestler of the past. He wasn't a wrestler of the current. He was trying to get his son pushed. His son was horrible. His son David had a look and absolutely nothing else. He had none of the talent and no charisma at all. And the thing with Bruno is that in the past he drew so much because he had this everyman work ethic. And the thing with the Garden, and I guess the Northeast in general, there are a lot of Italian immigrants, but there are a lot of other immigrants as well. And he was just this working man that just would go out there and fight whatever, competition that you put up against him. And Bruno was not a giant by any means. He was extremely strong. He was a barrel-chested type guy. But I think they listed him as 5'10".
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listed at 5'10", it means you're what, like 5'7"? Yeah. So here's a guy that like would go in there against a guy like superstar Billy Graham, and he was obviously several inches shorter, but he just had this strength. He just had true brute strength that he would throw people around. And it was one of the things about his wrestling style too, was that these guys, when you look at the old matches from the 50s and the 60s and the 70s even, all these wrestlers were grapplers. They were holds and counter holds, and almost kind of to the that connection to amateur, Greco-Roman type wrestling, where takedowns and looking for submissions and things like that. Bruno was a departure from that. Bruno could wrestle like that, but Bruno was pure strength. So he was this guy at 5'10", but he was able to lift up these monsters, basically, and they would put the monsters against him. Guys like George Steele and Gorilla Monsoon, and Bruno would take on all comers, and like he was unbeatable, and the crowds that he would draw were amazing. There's the supposed sellout streak of 179, I think, or something like that, consecutive sellouts of Madison Square Garden, which Meltzer denies, which from a technical standpoint, yes, it's not he did not literally sell at 179 straight shows. But at the same time, Meltzer tries to kind of calm it down as well, to the point because people got pissed off because Meltzer came out like within the day after he died or whatever, to kind of correct something, go, well, technically they're not really 179 sellouts. And people got pissed off because never say anything bad about somebody who's died recently ever. So he tried to explain that, yes, it's not technically sellouts, but at the same time, it's not to understate how incredible of a draw he was, to the point where even when they took the belt off of him and transitioned it to Bob Backlund, Meltzer would tell stories about how Howard Finkel would announce next month's card at Madison Square Garden, because that's what they would do. You go to the house show, you get to the first half of the matches, they do the intermission, and then or as they start to go into the intermission, Finkel would talk and go, okay, here are some of the matches for next month at Madison Square Garden. And he'd go through the matches. And then he would say, he would finish up with, and defending the WWF title, Bob Backlund takes on whoever. So then the crowd would cheer, and that type of thing. And then he would wait and milk it a little bit and then go, and one last match. And then he would announce whoever the heel was. And then he would be like, against, and wait for it. Bruno Sammartino, and the crowd would go nuts. Mm-hmm. So even still, he was this incredible draw. My Bruno story, just from being a kid watching wrestling, Bruno was out of wrestling. He would wrestle every once in a while. You'd see him, and it was just kind of to be out there. He would wrestle some jobber every once in a great while, and you would wonder why he was wrestling, because he never had any angles or anything like that. They just kind of put him out there for whatever reason. But to build for WrestleMania 3, they had the Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat feud. And to build that, Steamboat got attacked by Savage, and they draped his neck across like the railing on the outside, the double axe handle to the outside to crush his larynx, and then they threw him back into the ring, and Savage takes the ring bell and drives it into his throat, and they did the whole stretcher job, and he can't talk again, and the whole concern. So they had the whole concern thing through most of the card, and near the end of the card, the end of the show, Wrestling Challenge or whatever it was that week, they cut to the back for an update, and Bruno's backstage in his bright yellow blazer, going, well, the doctors have been working on him, and they finally put him in the ambulance to take him to the hospital. He's having a lot of difficulty breathing, and he's in a lot of pain. He's building this all up, and then Savage just happens to stroll by, and he's just like, oh, it starts off. It almost sounds like he's concerned, like he didn't mean to go that far, but then he starts to like gloat about how he injured him and he took him out, and Bruno just loses it. He's like, you scum, and he just starts wailing on him, and it was just the coolest thing as a kid to watch. Like, here's this older guy. It's almost like, I'd say watching Jerry Lawler do it now, but Lawler's kind of more advanced in his age than Bruno was then. And Lawler's always kind of been like a joke character, especially near the end here. But to just see him flip out, and Bruno had this series of matches, this last run basically that he did with I think he teamed up with George Steele a little bit, and Tito Santana against like Morocco and Savage and things like. And he just had this last run, but that was the memory I had of this older guy that looked like he should be a commentator, is already past his prime, and he'd go out there and just start throwing these dudes around the ring. And he was probably like 50 something years old at the time, and he could out wrestle these guys. It was awesome to see. But I've been hearing the stories now just about how great of a person he was behind us, how friendly he was, how willing he was to help out like younger talent and that type of thing. He had his conflicts with Vince McMahon and the industry for the long time, just because of the amount of steroids that were in the business in the 80s, and kind of what professional wrestling was turning into. I mean, he was an old timer, so that's just how it became for a lot of old timers. But he saw the drugs, and he didn't want to be around the drugs. He got to the point where that's what kind of got him on the outs. Anyway, he didn't want to travel with any of the boys because he didn't want to risk being pulled over with somebody that had drugs on them, because they all had some kind of drugs on them. Mm-hmm. And it just led to a falling out, and then eventually got to the point where he turned I don't want to say turned on Vince, but I mean, he became very outspoken towards Vince McMahon, and that kind of culture. And it was a bitterness that lasted for years and years and years until I think you said was 2012, 2013, where finally
when he came back,
buried the hatchet enough to put him into the Hall of Fame and give him his statue. And I think he still did a little bit of work, like he'd go to the development group every once in a while and kind of like see the people and go backstage. And
they filmed a ton with him for DVDs and whatnot, so they have a ton of interview and video footage with him, which is great for posterity and for his legacy. There will never be another like Bruno Sammartino.
No. My favorite little story that I heard, a throwaway from Meltzer, was supposedly because somebody had asked him, well, did Bruno have any kind of, like, once he got out of wrestling, or, you know, like he still had this charisma. Was there any talk of him doing like television or movies or anything like that? And apparently he was approached by The Sopranos to be part of The Sopranos, but once Bruno found out that there was actual bad language in The Sopranos because it was an HBO show, he wanted out. He did not want anything to do with it.
Good guy, Bruno.
Yeah.
He never would have been on this podcast.
No.
God bless him.
He'd call you scum.
Yeah.
And try to choke you.
Probably. But Godspeed to Bruno. Yeah. I already said what I had to say. There will never be another like him. No one will ever leave an impact on the business quite like he did.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. On YouTube somewhere, there's a little documentary that they did for him. It was just kind of showed a few years back, I think, locally in the Pittsburgh area, kind of documentary about him. The network's got, I haven't watched it yet, but has got some footage for him as well. Sure.
Yeah, they did. There was a special they just put up this week. I think it aired either after Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember, but there was a special tribute to him on the network now, and I'm sure they've already put together a collection as well.
Yeah.
What else we got this week, Tom?
I don't know. You're supposed to keep track of these
things. We covered everything. We'll cover Greatest Royal Rumble on Friday. And that's about it. And then next week we'll talk about the Go Home to Backlash. Remember when we were all excited that we were only getting one pay-per-view a month, and they're like, fuck you, here's two anyway.
Just, a giant one.
Yeah. Because, I totally need to spend, let's see, 8 hours in the next 10 days. Plus, out above and beyond the normal Raw and SmackDown, 8 hours in the next 10 days. Cool, bro. Thanks, Vince.
Do we have any pin mail this week?
I don't think we asked for pin mail.
Okay, then we have no pin mail this week. So
I mean, I don't know. There was no theme, so I don't know if there was pin mail or not.
Well, I got the request from Derek Roseller.
Ooh.
Who asked...
That sounds like a real asshole.
Yeah. Who asked that I revert to singing pin mail to different entrance themes each week. So,
ooh, we can say that for next week. So here's an important. This is a good segue. We have a new way for you to leave us pin mail for the podcast.
Ooh,
yes. If you would like to leave us voice pin mail, that's right. Feel free to leave us a voice message. Anytime, day or night. You can call us after Raw, after SmackDown. Hell, call us during the Greatest Royal Rumble. Who gives a shit when? Give us a phone call. The number's 984-244-1889. 984-244-1889. And you can leave us a voicemail. Keep them short, keep them sweet, and we'll play them on the air if they're appropriate.
Yeah. You may want to repeat that one more time a little bit slower if anybody was actually trying to write that down. We will also tweet it out on the account.
Oh, yeah.
We don't expect you actually to be taking notes while listening to a podcast.
I'll put it in the bio on our Twitter account. You can leave us a voicemail for pin mail anytime, day or night, whenever your heart feels so compelled. The phone number is 984-244-1889. Who knows, Tom? Maybe we'll even do a call-in show one day.
That'd be interesting.
That would be... That's an understatement. The 3 phone calls we would probably get.
If Sports Channel 8 can, have their own 99.9 The Fan show, why can't we take calls?
Yeah, but I don't listen to it because they don't talk about the greatest sport.
Yeah, if only 99.9 The Fan or WRL was interested in a wrestling podcast.
Just 30 minutes a week.
Yeah. They should get one.
Come on.
We're available.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machine at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. Don't go anywhere else. I'm really not interested in those things anymore. Just stick that. I may be on Rexport Pro Wrestling Fantasy, the message boards, the news groups from 1999. So
there you go.
I was searching those today because somebody reminded me of something, and it made me feel really old to see some of the stuff that I wrote on there a long time ago.
You can find me on the internet at JCBobbitt, JCBOBBITT. You can find the show on the Twitter at Cheaters Never Pin, Cheaters in VR Pin. Anything you've got, anytime, send us anything there. Hashtag pinmail. As I said before, leave us a voicemail at 984-244-1889. Anytime anything crosses your mind. Fantasy booking, questions, comments, doesn't matter. We got time to fill. Yeah, that's about it. We may even start a Twitch channel once Fire Pro comes out. Who knows? Could be fun. You can just watch me and Tom playing Fire Pro all the time.
Since the only way I'll be able to play it is over JC's house because I don't have a PS4.
Oh, Tom, come on over, brother. Yeah, shit gonna be tight. It'll be fun.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm ready for that.
Maybe when it comes out, we do something. When Fire Pro releases for PS4, maybe we have some kind of special event for charity.
I'm just looking forward to
what if we
teaming up. Can I talk?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just want to team up Toriano and Shinsuke Nakamura and just have everyone's balls be punched repeatedly.
I say maybe we do like a fundraiser Twitch stream for 24 hours.
Okay.
That would be fun.
I can play Fire Pro for 24 hours. Lord knows I did it in college.
We could have some special guests over at the studio. Could be a fun day.
We'll get Meg to yell at things.
Oh, yeah. We'll bring all the Section 328 stars. And
Meg's
everything
the
else you can
popular
think
one.
of.
She's the only one we need.
For sure. All right, Tom. Let's get out of here. I'm sure the people are tired of listening. I am too. It's late. Well, we appreciate you listening to another episode of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. We'll be back next week, getting you ready for Backlash and recapping the Greatest Royal Rumble. And whatever else happens in the world of wrestling in the next 7 days, we'll be here to talk about it for you. So for all of us here at the podcast in Section 328, I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.